Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Curley. I am your academic advisor for sociology, and your professor asked me to do a presentation for you to just kind of go over what you can expect from advising, as well as things like how to schedule your advising appointment and how to use some of the online systems that we use a lot in advising and registration, and then some just important notes specifically about your major. So a lot to cover, but bear with me and hopefully this will be helpful. And then of course we can talk a lot more when you come in for your advising appointment. So let's get started. Okay, so what is an advisor? So we are more than just the person who gives you your schedule or tells you what to take. So some of the important things that you will find um, use for with advising is, let's see, we are your advocate. So we want to help you with whatever it is you're going through. So whether that be meeting your academic goals, bringing up your GPA, getting into the honors college, whatever those kinds of things, goals you might have, we want to help you with that. And also any challenges that you're facing, I want to help you through those as well. So I am here for you, and that is the main thing I want you to remember. And I'm actually going to do away with my face so you can see the infographic on the side too. Okay. We are a source of knowledge for all your degree requirements and university policies and procedures. So if you have any questions about what are the requirements for my degree, what classes do I need to take, what's a prerequisite, or what order do I have to take these courses in, as well as things like what happens when I go on academic probation, or can I share my classes between my minor and my major, those kinds of things. We're here for you for that. A referring agent. So there are going to be some cases where I can't answer your question or look something up for you because I don't have access. Financial aid is a great example of that. I know a good bit about financial aid, but at the end of the day, I don't have access to your information to give you the best information that you could possibly need for your question. So that might be a case where I will refer you to that office or to a specific person in that office to help you out. An academic coach. So we kind of already talked about that when talking about meeting your goals. But things that I love talking about with students are time management, how to deal with procrastination. Those are two of my favorite topics. And just kind of how to schedule a routine and create habits that are healthy and good for you to reach your academic goals. Love talking about that sort of thing. So definitely reach out to me if you need help with just improving your grades or figuring out a good routine for you. Planning assistant for your required courses. So yes, I do ultimately want to help you figure out what classes you need to take. So that is a big part of it. And of course, I remove advising holds. And we'll talk a bit about this here in a minute, but KSU will be increasing the number of advising holds that we're using starting this semester. So some of you may have an advising hold get put on your account this semester that you weren't expecting. So we'll talk more about that. But if you have an advising hold, I am the person that you need to meet with in order to have that removed. So who am I? Again, my name is Christy Curley. I'm your advisor. I work with all the sociology students. I also serve as a backup for English education, and I do all of the readmit appointments for several of our majors as well. And I'm also one of two senior advisors on our team, so I help a lot with other leadership initiatives and things like that for our whole team. That picture there on the left is my family at Disney last September. We were there for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, so we were kind of Disney bounding as villains. We love Disney. We try to go as often as we can. Our spring break trip was ruined because of COVID, along with so many other things in this world. But we are hoping that we'll be able to get back there soon. And I graduated, I think I've got another image. Yes. Okay. I graduated from Georgia Southern University. I have my bachelor's in English and my master's in counseling, both from Southern. And I worked there as well before transitioning up here in 2017 as an advisor. And then advising, my office is in Willingham Hall, Suite 223. However, due to the pandemic and our reopening plans, I'm only in the office about 1 day a week right now, sometimes a little bit more, but I'm doing a lot of my work from home. So please email me. It's the best way to reach me, or of course, schedule an appointment. All appointments will be done virtually. Even if I'm in the office, I'm going to be meeting with you virtually just because of space issues and needing that social distancing. So registering works scheduling your appointment works exactly the same way as it always has, but I will email you on the morning of your appointment with a link to let you access the video chat. And it will be as authentic and close to a regular face-to-face appointment as possible. So when should you get advised? Well, I typically work Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, so that's when I'm going to be answering emails and that sort of thing. And I usually start advising around 9 and try to wrap up by 4. I do advising typically by appointment only because, again, with the pandemic, we're not doing walk-ins in our office this semester. Usually we have specific walk-in hours, but we will not be doing that for the fall semester. So you will need to make an appointment to be advised. Advising hold. So again, times when you're definitely going to see an advising hold, if you have less than 30 earned credit hours, or if this is your very first semester at KSU, so even if you're a transfer student, but this is your very first semester at KSU, you will have an advising hold put on your account in early September. So you'll need to come meet with me to have that lifted. If you have a certain GPA, you will have an advising hold. And I see a typo there that should be must be advised to remove advising hold. But yes, so I believe it's a 2.7 or below. So you might have a 2.7 and be doing all right, and that's okay. You know, you're still in good academic standing, but we still want you to come in and just check in, and you're not in trouble or anything like that. But again, those things that I love talking about might come up if you need some help with figuring out your routine or time management and things like that. And then, of course, this won't apply to any of you right this minute, but if in the future, hopefully this won't happen, but if you are dismissed because of your GPA, if you're academically dismissed, and then you return as a readmit student from dismissal, you will have a readmit advising hold on your account, and you'll have to meet with me to have that lifted. And it's just wise in general to be advised at least once a year, if not every single semester, just to check in. We do encourage students to not necessarily wait until they have a hold to come in, but just to check in each semester and make sure that things are going according to your plan and just to kind of see how things are going. If you are a junior, you probably should make an appointment just to make sure you're on track to graduate as planned. There are some prerequisite structures within this major that sometimes students miss, and if you wait till senior year to come in and talk about it, you might end up having to delay graduation because of it. And of course, anytime you have questions or concerns or anything at all, please come meet with me. I love it. So how do you schedule an appointment? So this has not changed if you're familiar with this. Number one, check your KSU email every single day. That's just a good general rule of thumb. But if you have any kind of advising hold, or if there's anything that I think you would benefit from coming in to see me about, I'm going to do what I call an appointment campaign where I send you an invitation where you just kind of click on a link to schedule that appointment. It's really easy. So keep checking your email because if you have something like that for me, that's a really easy way to schedule. If you're just deciding to schedule on your own, you can either go to our website, which the link to that is at the bottom of this graphic on the right, or you can go to EAB Campus Advising, which is in the Student Services tab of your OWL Express. And then the steps there are listed on the right. And again, all advising appointments for this semester are going to be virtual, and you'll receive an email from me on the morning of your scheduled appointment with a link to access the video chat for that appointment. If you have any specific things you know you want to discuss in that appointment, feel free to write those as notes or comments as you're scheduling so I can be best prepared. And then it doesn't hurt to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for other updates about deadlines and just things that are going on campus. We're going to skip the volunteering since I'm not in person with you today. Okay, so how can you prepare for that appointment? Make a list of questions or concerns. A lot of times students come in and they've forgotten those questions that they had. have a tentative plan that you want to discuss. You don't have to. You can come in knowing nothing, and that's okay. But if you have an idea of what classes you want to take next semester or your goal graduation date or anything like that, it's great if you want to just discuss that with me so that I know what your goals are. And then it doesn't hurt to review degree works, especially. That is primarily what I'm looking at when I'm advising you. So it would be great for you to look at that as well. You can also refer to the department website, the catalog, your transcripts in Owl Express, anything like that to kind of prepare for the things you might want to discuss. So speaking of the catalog, you can access that from this link here. I am not going to go to it right now just because I don't think the recording will follow me there. But if you go to that link, catalog.kennesaw.edu, it'll bring up our catalog. And what I would recommend, you can find all of the academic policies there. There is on the left-hand side of the screen, there will be a link for academic policies. So if you have a question about some sort of policy for the university, that's a good place to look for that. And then if you look for the link on the left for academic programs, that's most often what I refer students to in the catalog. That's going to be a list of every single academic program that we offer at KSU. So your majors, minors, and certificate programs. So if you're thinking about adding a minor or a certificate to your degree, that's a great place to check to see what courses you'd have to take for that minor, how many classes it is. Okay, degree works. So you can get to your degree works by going to Owl Express, student records, and then there's a link to it there. There's also a link to it in the registration tab. So there's actually two different links to degree works in Owl Express. So hopefully you've seen degree works before, but if you haven't, this is kind of what it looks like. You would have your information across the top here. You'd be able to see who your advisor is. You can see your GPA here if you have any holds. So that's something you'll definitely want to check on as registration approaches. I know it gets a little cut off, but there's your major information over here. And then I know you can't quite see it, but your time ticket would be listed over on the right-hand column. So the time ticket tells you when you're able to register for courses for the coming semester. So you definitely will want to check on that. Registration for spring is going to start October 16th. But as you probably know, your time ticket will vary by day and time. So you'll want to check as you get closer to October 16th to see your exact registration date and time. And then you always want to pay attention to these big red boxes here. If you have any of that, that means you're in a course that you don't need. And it's being flagged for ineligible for federal financial aid. Now, sometimes it is a course you need. Sometimes it could be a course for your minor, but it doesn't have anywhere else to fit in your degree, and so it's being flagged for that reason. If you have questions, if you believe it is a course that you need and you're not sure why it's being flagged, reach out to me. I can kind of explain how that works. And sometimes it might be flagged, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're paying out of pocket for that course. There's lots of different reasons why it might be flagged, but you're still okay. So I'm happy to talk with you about that. You can also talk to the Office of Student Financial Aid about that as well. Ignore the degree progress bar. Boo, we hate it. We find it to be very unreliable. And then, of course, you can just scroll through and see the courses that you need for your degree. Once you've completed them, you'll see the grade. If you're registered for them, it'll say so. And then, of course, if you still need it, it will say that as well. And all of these courses would be hyperlinked, so you can click on them to read course descriptions and see if they have any prerequisites. You can even see when the course is being offered in the coming semester. Okay, the department website. So there's lots of good stuff on the department website. If you go follow the steps listed there on the left, you can get to the SCJ website. One thing I definitely recommend you checking out is the internship information. Dr. Farr has put together several PowerPoint videos talking through all of the eligibility and requirements for internship and co-op. So I definitely recommend checking that out, especially if you have questions about that requirement and as you get a little bit closer to doing that. There's also a link to general resources, which has a lot of good helpful links and information in it as well that you might want to reference. Okay, after you've been advised what you can expect, you'll get an email from me to your KSU account that includes all of my meeting notes any important links to things that we discussed, any contact information. If I referred you to someone, I'll put their email and name in there for you. Any documents we reviewed, like your degree check sheet or anything like that, I'll put that in as an attachment to that email. And basically, it's just a summary for you to refer to. You can refer back to it later as needed, reply back to it if you have other questions, or of course, if you need to schedule a follow-up appointment at any time, you're welcome to do so. So some need to know things about your major. So Sociology 1101 is a prerequisite to a lot of the other SOCI courses. Now, I think as of last year, they did take away some of those prerequisites for those upper division courses. So there are a few that don't have SOCI 1101 as a prereq, but some of them still do. It's a good idea to go ahead and knock that class out. And in fact, you're in professional development, so you've definitely already taken SOCI 1101. So SOC 2210, which is this course, Professional Development, it is a prerequisite to Research Methods 3305. Internship, co-op, or study abroad is a requirement for this major. You do have to do one of those options. Co-op, generally that's if you already have a full-time job that qualifies as related to your major and you get that approved for credit. Internship, that's a kind of part-time experience for one semester. Again, that's related to your major. And if you're going to do study abroad, it does have to be a trip with our department. So I know there are a lot of study abroad opportunities that KSU offers, but it does have to be one of our specific trips with our department for it to satisfy that particular requirement in your major. SOCI 3300, which is Foundations of Social Theory, and 3305, which is Research Methods, are both prerequisites to senior seminar. So you're already in professional development, that's great. Just make sure you get those other two courses completed before at least your very last semester so that you don't end up having to delay graduation just because of prerequisite structures. And in fact, I usually recommend having it done even before that semester, right before your last semester, just in case you have to withdraw or you don't pass it or anything like that. That gives you a little bit of buffer room, again, so you're not having to delay graduation because of prerequisites. For area D of your gen ed, we recommend statistics for your second math in that area because you will be using a little bit of statistics in research methods. Now that course is not a prerequisite to research methods. However, I do recommend, just as a general guideline, to go ahead and take that course first. You cannot share courses between your upper division major requirements and your concentration requirements. So if you're doing the general sociology concentration, if you take race and ethnicity for one of your upper division requirements, it's not going to also count in your concentration. They have to be separate classes. A concentration is required. So if you don't already have that declared, please take a look at those options and let's get that declared for you. The options are culture and social change, general sociology, medical sociology, and criminology. And you cannot share upper division major requirements or concentration classes with related studies or upper division electives. Depending on your catalog year, that area is either called related studies or upper division electives, but those have to be separate classes as well. You must earn a C or better in all of your major courses. You must have a 2.0 institutional GPA. So when we talk about institutional GPA or IGPA, that's referring only to your KSU courses. So not your transfer courses, just your KSU courses. You have to have at least a 2.0 in your KSU courses to be in good academic standing with the university and be eligible to graduate. You also need that 2.0 to be eligible for internship. For co-op, you actually need a 2.5 institutional GPA. You are allowed to share classes between a minor and your related studies or upper division electives or your free electives. So for the most part, unless you came in with a lot of transfer credit and you've already satisfied those elective slots, you probably have room to do a minor or a certificate without it taking any extra credits or time. So definitely talk to me if that's something that you are interested in, and I will take a look and see if we can fit that in. Some other sociology department contacts, the department chair is Dr. Bonnock, the internship coordinator is Dr. Farr, and the department administrative assistant is Ms. Catherine Zagelko. We're going to skip over, well, we won't skip totally over this. If we were in person, I would give you some physical hard copies of these things. But I will provide your professor with the degree check sheets. Now, With those, it is important to note that we've had a few curriculum changes across the years, including this semester. So if you are a new student to KSU this semester, or if you just changed your major to sociology as of late July or later, then you're going to be following the 2020 catalog requirements. If not, then you're probably going to be following the check sheet that actually says 2018 across the top of it. That would cover 2018 and 2019. And then there's even a separate one for 2017 if you've been around for a little while. So I'll provide the 2018 and the 2020 to your professor, and maybe they can make that available to you. And then the steps to schedule an advising appointment that is embedded into this PowerPoint, but I'll include that separate PDF to your professor as well. I know we can't ask questions right now because this is just a recording, but please email me if you do have any questions. And of course, schedule those appointments so we can talk through everything. I look forward to meeting you. I hope you have a fantastic semester. I know this is a weird, kind of crazy, unprecedented year. Lots going on, but I am here for you. I am excited to work with you. I know virtual appointments aren't quite the same as face-to-face, but they're the next best thing, I think. And just reach out and I'd be happy to talk with you and help. Have a great rest of your day.